Yeah, my maniacs, this just came across my desk, and it's gonna be a doozy. Wilderness Ridge Country Club in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska, recently held its 2024 Memba-Guest, which was won by Joel Schultz and Craig Kubicek. First things first, hats off to the social media director over here at Wilderness Ridge. I mean, look at this presentation. We got the champions, the trophies, their autographs, confetti's flying. Wait a minute, what's that say down there? This marks their third Memba-Guest title in the last 5 years? You know, I always thought it was the plus size swimsuit models, which is why Sports Illustrated wasn't selling magazines anymore, but maybe it was this 2020 Wilderness Ridge Collector's Edition. And here they are in 2021, hoisting their back-to-back championship trophies. I couldn't help but notice that Mr. Joel Schultz has his shirt untucked in all 3 of his championship photographs. Typically that would be an issue for me, but Wilderness Ridge does not have a tuck-in policy. He's fine, he can wear his shirt however he wants. With that being said, he does look like an enormous man that could probably choke me out in about 4 seconds, so I don't think I'm going to mess with him. As for his partner, though, Craig Kubicek, he's giving off some big-time sandbaggy vibes. And if you don't believe me, just check out this picture they posted of him after 5 rounds of play. I felt like I needed to go to the Google for this suspect. And after asking Google if Craig Kubicek from Nebraska is a sandbagging rat, I was able to find that he's the deputy auditor for the state of Nebraska. He must be good with numbers. Hey, Chip, any chance this guy's been on the news or anything?
I deal with, fraud on a daily basis, and there's always, it's like, geez, how did they, how did this fall through?
Hey, Craig, guess what? I deal with fraud every day in my line of work as well, and nothing slips through the cracks. You know where we're going. We're going straight to the game! This number that you're looking at, I don't think it really matters. What matters are the scores that he's been entering over his last 20 rounds. And before we get there, we need to have a little lesson about course rating and slope rating. Pictured here is the course and slope rating from the blue tees at Wilderness Ridge. 70.8 is the course rating, which basically means that's what a scratch golfer is expected to average at Wilderness Ridge from the blue tees on his or her better rounds. 128 is the slope rating. Now, that number is figured out by somehow comparing scratch golfers to crappy golfers, and nobody really knows how they figure it out, but it's just another way to check out the difficulty of the course you're playing. Let's see what kind of courses old Craig Kubicek's been playing. August of 2023, we now know he doesn't play much golf. I mean, he hasn't even played 20 rounds since last August. We see that he has 3 rounds posted, all with a 59 course rating and a 93 slope. Now, I've never seen anything that low. That seems like a bona fide pitch and putt. Chip, are we able to figure out what course this is? Man, you're on top of your game today, Chip. Wilderness Ridge has an executive 9, which is called the Talon course. A par 64, 4,228 yard course. Well, it's not for Craig because, see, he doesn't play it from the black tees. He moves up to the brown tees, where it's a 3,746 yard course. 5 par 3s, the longest being 144 yards. You'll have 3 par 4s, the longest being 315. Oh, and there's a par 5 mixed in, a 398 yarder. 10 out of his last 20 rounds have been at the Wilderness Ridge Talon course. If we circle back to that boring course and slope rating discussion, every time Craig Kubicek posts a 76 from the Talon course, a course with a 59 course rating and 93 slope rating, it's the equivalent of shooting a 94 from the blue tees at Wilderness Ridge's championship course. Doesn't seem like he ever shoots over 90 there. The question is, why does Craig Kubicek play so poorly every time he plays this 3,746 yard gem? I spent well over 98 minutes researching all 144 participants in the Wilderness Ridge Country Club Memba-Guest. I was able to find a total of 5 that have posted around at the Talon course. Out of those 5 golfers, the gentleman that plays it the most is Mr. Darren Harper, who has an 18.6 index, which is significantly higher than Craig Kubicek. And if you look, man, his scores are eerily similar, even better than Craig Kubicek's. Look, you guys figure out what I'm getting at here yet? It is mathematically impossible for a guy to play this crappy on a golf course that's 3,746 yards. But then miraculously, he plays the best golf of his life on courses that are twice as long. How does he do it? According to the one anonymous source that actually will speak to me, it sounds like they played the Invitational somewhere around 6,300 yards. Now, they played 5 9-hole matches, so those 9 holes would be around 3,150 yards. Craig's scores were 40, 40, 41, 45, and 39. You know, your three postings from the talent course, a 1,873 yard course for 9 holes, just 1,277 yards less, are a 39, 39, 41. Man, Craig just shoots the same score even if the course is twice as long. Don't even get me started on the variances in your differentials between competitions and talent rounds. Now look, can I prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Craig Kubicek is 1,000% manipulating the scores that he puts into the GAN app? Well, of course not. I mean, it's entirely possible that Craig Kubicek just drives a golf ball 400 yards, and he has the yips with his wedges. So when he plays a championship course, it's great. He just drives every green, and then he gets his putter, and he, plays a little hockey till he gets it in the hole, which, hey, he can 3-putt every hole. He drives every green and still make a par. But then when he plays a little pitch and putt, oh, Craigie gets the yips with his wedges, and he stinks, and he makes double on everything. So unless he has his witnesses come forward that, play golf with him at the talent course and can certify the scores he's been entering, honestly, Chip, her wearing a string bikini is just as perplexing as Craig Kubicek playing a course 10 times out of his last 20 rounds, and not one of the differentials being low enough to count towards his handicap. Oh, you're recording this? The only thing I can do is say, hey, watch this video, and when you're done, go to the comment section and say, hey, Yip, you're overreacting, or say, Craig Kubicek is a sandbagging rat.